so crazy.
Yeah. I love you, John Heffron.
You're totally not dead.
Yeah. Oh, before we go any further, so I just want to ask you. Do you want to talk about it? Is that cool?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is the biggest bomb. Was that one of the hardest bombs that you've had?
No, because I didn't bomb.
You didn't bomb? Okay,
it was up to that day, that was the best set I've ever had.
Oh, really?
I murdered the set.
Okay, so go ahead and explain the situation. Yeah.
So it was the first time getting to host at Bricktown. They were letting me host for John Heffron, first person to ever win Last Comic Standing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So a pretty big name.
Yeah.
Super honored to do it. He comes. I'm supposed to only do the Thursday show because Friday, Saturday, the host is able to make it. So do the Thursday show. It goes well. When he gets off stage, he's like super sick and like has to be like rushed to the hospital.
Damn.
We're like, oh my gosh, that's scary, you know? So then the next day, I want to say they canceled the late show. So they're
I was at the early show, and he got sick on stage, and he had to get off.
Well, that was Saturday. That'd be Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So Friday, I think they canceled the late show, and are like, he's able to do the first show, but he can't do the second one. So he does it. Then, no, they have the second show. He just can't do it because he's not feeling good. So they call me back up to host. I get to host a second show. I'm like, this is super cool. I was working at the club at the time, so super convenient. I'm already there.
Oh, nice.
Then Saturday comes. They're like, he's all good to do both shows. No worries.
Yeah.
First show in, he starts having a like almost breakdown on stage. It's like about like 7 minutes into his set.
Yeah.
Like super early
we were
on.
up pretty close up front, and we were, like, he was sweating. Well, he was having vertigo is the problem.
Yeah, that's the whole deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
They couldn't turn the lights down too low because it made him nauseous. He had to sit down because he was shaky.
Yeah.
He couldn't turn his neck because it made him nauseous.
Yeah.
But he was still killing.
He was still, I mean,
Still doing
that's
well.
like tough that even to have to go through that. It's like, I'm still gonna be out here and perform.
Yeah.
You know,
he made
do
jokes
this.
about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But then there was a point where it's like, all right, this is getting a little out of hand.
Yeah.
And so the manager
good.
calls it, and he goes up to like the club, and they're like, get John off stage. So then they're like on the side of the stage, like, John, come off stage. You're like, you're done, you're good.
Yeah.
Like, come off stage. And he's not doing it. So the manager's like, flash the red light at him. So they start flashing the red light. But Bricktown had just got a brand new light. And it's designed so that the audience can't see the light.
Yeah.
So he's getting flashed like crazy with this red light, and no one else can see it. And he starts, what's going on?
Oh,
You guys,
freaking out
that
even
explains
more.
that.
you see what's happening, you know? And he's having like a freak out on stage, to the point that they like had to go on stage and just like get him off.
Help him off.
Then like they just played a John Heffron YouTube video and rushed everyone there's checks. And they're like, we're sorry, like
That
all this
sucks.
stuff. So they're like, there's no way John can do the next show. We're gonna have you host. We'll have the host feature and then the feature headline. And so then I'm like, this is awesome, but all these people Saturday night are showing up to see John Heffron.
Yeah.
I can't, and I'm the first person to go up. I can't avoid that,
Yeah.
you know? And now, if you were a more experienced comic, let's say it's not your first time hosting, you would be very aware that at the door they're letting people know John Heffron's not going to be there.
Right.
I don't have to say anything, but I don't know this. So I'm taking it upon myself to be like, I have to let the audience
I have
know.
to break the news.
You know? And I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. The feature, I go up to him. His name's Mike Eaton. I was like, you think I should, like, say something? And I think maybe he said it jokingly in hindsight. But
About it.
he did say, tell him he's dead. And this is 30 seconds before I go on stage. And I'm like, full send. All right. So I just go up there like, I don't know if you guys heard or not, but John Heffron is dead.
Oh, God.
And it, to this day, is my favorite experience I've had at comedy, because I watched a wave of emotion change.
Holy
of just
shit.
like, what?
Especially because they're all his fans.
Yeah.
Like,
And then I'm just like,
oh shit.
I'm just kidding.
Listen,
He's too sick to perform. Aren't we happy he's not dead?
did it hit though?
No.
They were just, you brought him down too hard.
So
Damn.
Talk
none
about
of that
building tension,
hits.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
So then you have to try to recover.
like, I make a joke about it where I'm like, wow, I'm gonna have to dig myself out of this hole, you know? And then I do. I just murdered my set.
That's a good thing, because I've talked about, I think last week we were talking about, but it's just like calling out the elephant in the room. Like, I think as a performer, but as a human, a lot of times when you're in any conversation, it's like, you know, it's the best thing to do. If you feel awkward about something, a situation you're in, just say it immediately, as soon as you can. And that will change your mindset immediately, because you're going to feel better and not feel embarrassed about it, but also get the audience to laugh about it. But so how did the rest of the set go after?
So yeah, I just murder the rest of the set. To that,
which is
up
good.
to that day, that's the best set I ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just goes extremely well.
Nice.
And I get off stage, and management's like, get in here.
Oh.
And I get in there hyped. You know, I just killed my set. And they're like, what was that? And I'm like, right, dude? Right? That was in me the whole time.
You're thinking they're gonna like be like, oh man, you're the best comic we've seen.
Gold star moment.
Yeah. And they're like, you said he's dead. I was like, I did do that, didn't I?
You should be like, hey man, homeboy told me to say that.
And they're like, the other comics are pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, you can't go back in the green room. And I'm like, oh man. So then I just had to like
hang out,
chill and hang out. And they were like, at the end of the show, they were like, you need to go apologize. I was like, yeah, of course. If like I offended him, for sure I'll apologize. It was not my intent. So I go in there, and he's in the corner trying to survive, you know.
So yeah, he was there the whole time.
He was there, yeah.
Oh, wow,
Well, he was informed of what I did too, because apparently after I said that, one of the comics then went back and told him, like, you're not gonna believe what the host just said. It's like, the host said you're dead. And then John was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
And so then one of the other comics got extremely butthurt about that and tried to have me like taken off early. But I went back, I go apologize to John. I'm like, I'm sorry, John, if I offended you. That truly wasn't my intention. It was just a dumb joke I made in the heat of the moment. And John Heffron's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, why would he care? He's a comedian. He understands their jokes.
I mean, you could be offended by it, but like you said, I mean,
if you let it go on,
yeah,
you know, and then it becomes a Facebook post. John Heffron dies at 49.
Yeah, if I don't immediately tell them afterwards, maybe.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just turn to the other comics, like, well. And then they're like, are you just hanging out or are you leaving? I was like, oh, I'm leaving. But I did win this.
That's good. You sound like you handled it as well as you could. I mean,
yeah, a lot better than that Dell City show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a lot better than that.
But so that's a fun story for sure.